The Philippines is rarely the first name you hear when discussing global economic powerhouses, yet it holds one of the most fascinating growth stories of our time. A nation of over 115 million people, this Southeast Asian archipelago is defying expectations and rewriting the rules of economic advancement. While neighboring countries like China and Vietnam have leaned heavily on manufacturing, the Philippines has carved its niche through a service-driven economy, leveraging its workforce and unique geographical position. But what makes this story even more compelling is how the country has achieved such growth despite facing some of the most daunting challenges imaginable, ranging from natural disasters to deep-seated inequality. The key to understanding why the Philippines matters lies in its ability to thrive in an increasingly volatile global economy. It's a country that has managed to balance tradition and innovation, all while playing a pivotal role in some of the biggest global shifts of our era. Yet, as promising as this growth is, cracks beneath the surface reveal major hurdles, including a reliance on outsourcing that could be disrupted by the rise of artificial intelligence. Could the strategies employed by the Philippines offer lessons for the rest of the world? Or do these challenges foreshadow obstacles that other nations will soon face? Stay with us as we uncover the answers to these pressing questions and explore what the Philippines' economic evolution could mean for the next decade of global progress. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Economy Explorer. You won't want to miss a single moment of this journey. The growth drivers of the Philippines. Economic resilience amid global challenges. In a world where many economies are buckling under inflation, global uncertainty, and post-pandemic recovery struggles, the Philippines stands out as a beacon of resilience. With a GDP growth of 5.2% in Q3 of 2024, it's clear that this nation is managing to sustain momentum even in turbulent times. But this growth isn't just luck. It's fueled by a unique combination of internal factors that have positioned the Philippines as a rising economic star. From the booming services sector to the steady inflow of remittances, the economy thrives on its ability to adapt and innovate. This resilience is especially impressive when you consider the challenges the country faces, including infrastructure gaps and vulnerabilities to climate disruptions like the recent El Niño. And yet, the Philippines is steadily marching toward its ambitious annual growth target of 6 to 7%, signaling not just survival, but determined progress. How is the country turning these obstacles into opportunities? Let's dive deeper. The services sector, a thriving backbone. The services sector isn't just a part of the Philippine economy, it's the lifeblood. Accounting for a significant chunk of the GDP, industries like business process outsourcing, BPO, and tourism have fueled much of the country's economic ascent. Call centers and back-office operations, in particular, have capitalized on the Philippines' English-proficient, highly educated workforce. Global corporations rely on this sector to cut costs while maintaining quality, with major players like Amazon and Google outsourcing critical operations to Filipino teams. Tourism, too, has made a triumphant comeback, with visitors drawn to the country's breathtaking beaches, unique cultural heritage, and increasingly modern infrastructure. These twin engines of growth, BPO and tourism, are not just sustaining the economy, but propelling it forward. However, as we'll explore, reliance on these sectors comes with its own set of challenges. A strategic geographic advantage. Sitting at the crossroads of some of the world's busiest trade routes, the Philippines enjoys a geographic position that few other nations can claim. Its location has made it a natural hub for logistics and regional trade, a role that is only becoming more vital as supply chains shift away from China. The growing shipbuilding industry, focused on smaller cargo ships and ferries, complements this strategic advantage by meeting both domestic and international demand. Yet, the same geography that positions the Philippines for success also creates logistical challenges, as its archipelagic nature complicates the development of nationwide infrastructure. This dual-edged sword of geography raises a compelling question. Can the Philippines continue leveraging its position while overcoming the obstacles it presents? A young, talented workforce, the Philippines' greatest asset isn't something you can export or build. It's its people. With a median age of just 25, the nation boasts one of the youngest and most dynamic workforces in the world. This youthful population is highly skilled, culturally adaptable, and fluent in English, making them invaluable to industries like outsourcing and tech. Filipinos also bring a unique cultural alignment with Western markets, thanks to a long history of shared influences. This connection gives the Philippines a competitive edge over neighboring countries, even those with larger populations or more advanced infrastructures. But as automation and AI threaten to disrupt traditional labor markets, the question remains: how can this workforce adapt to stay competitive in a rapidly changing global landscape? A balanced monetary policy. While many economies struggle to keep inflation under control, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, BSP, has taken a measured approach, maintaining policy rates at 650% to stabilize prices and support the peso. This balance has not only curbed inflation, but also bolstered investor confidence, giving the economy the stability it needs to grow. However, as inflationary pressures ease, will the BSP take steps to further stimulate growth? And how will these monetary policies align with the country's broader economic ambitions? These are critical questions as we look ahead to the next phase of the Philippines' economic journey. Challenges: shaping the Philippines' path. Persistent economic inequality. The Philippines, for all its economic gains, remains a nation of contrasts. In Manila, towering skyscrapers and bustling business districts symbolize progress. But just a few miles away, informal settlements sprawl with families struggling to make ends meet. The disparity is staggering. Manila's per capita income is over 10 times higher than many remote islands, where basic necessities remain a luxury. This economic divide isn't just a statistic, it's a barrier to growth. Workers in underdeveloped regions often cannot access the education or opportunities needed to participate in the industries driving the economy forward. This inequality stems in part from the country's geography, with its 7,641 islands, creating logistical challenges for connecting rural areas to urban hubs. The question is, how can the Philippines bridge this gap to unlock the potential of its entire population? As we'll explore next, governance and infrastructure play critical roles in addressing this issue. Corruption and governance challenges. Corruption remains one of the Philippines' most entrenched obstacles to progress. From mismanaged public funds to bribery scandals, inefficiency in governance undermines investor confidence and erodes public trust. A vivid example of this challenge occurred in 2021 when a journalist exposing corruption was tragically assassinated, sending a chilling message about the risks of accountability. This culture of corruption creates significant red tape for entrepreneurs and deters foreign investors who see the risks as outweighing potential rewards. Worse yet, it diverts resources away from critical areas like infrastructure, education, and healthcare. Can the Philippines tackle corruption without stalling its economic momentum? This is a question policymakers and citizens alike must grapple with as the nation charts its future. Vulnerability to AI and automation. The industries that have propelled the Philippines to global prominence, outsourcing and services, are also some of the most vulnerable to disruption by AI and automation. Tasks like customer service, data entry, and basic administrative work are increasingly being handled by algorithms and chatbots. For a workforce that has become synonymous with excellence in these fields, the stakes couldn't be higher. The challenge lies not just in job displacement, but in upskilling a workforce to compete in emerging fields. Will the Philippines pivot quickly enough to harness the potential of AI rather than be overtaken by it? The answer to this question could redefine its economic trajectory. Stay with us as we uncover how opportunities might emerge from these very challenges. Opportunities for transformation. Infrastructure development. Building for the future. In a country where travel between islands often involves outdated ferries and underdeveloped roads, infrastructure investment isn't just a necessity, it's a transformative opportunity. The Philippine government has announced ambitious plans to invest over $100 billion into infrastructure projects, aiming to modernize transport, energy, and communication systems. This initiative could unlock the potential of underdeveloped regions, making it easier for rural communities to access markets and jobs. One of the most promising ventures is the expansion of the shipbuilding industry. By focusing on small cargo ships and ferries, the Philippines isn't trying to compete with industrial giants like China or South Korea. Instead, it's carving out a niche in regional trade, connecting its islands while serving neighboring countries. Could this focus on practical, scalable solutions provide the blueprint for other developing economies? That's a question worth exploring further. Diversification into emerging sectors. The Philippines has long been synonymous with outsourcing and tourism, but it's now setting its sights on diversification. One example is the country's growing role in microchip manufacturing. While it doesn't compete with Taiwan's advanced processors, the Philippines excels in producing simpler, high-demand components used in everyday electronics. This strategy taps into a global supply chain that requires basic but essential parts. Additionally, the tech sector is gaining traction. Startups in Manila are creating innovative solutions in fintech, e-commerce, and even creative industries like game design. These sectors not only offer higher value jobs, but also help the economy reduce its reliance on traditional industries. The question now is whether the Philippines can scale these efforts and become a regional leader in tech and manufacturing. Harnessing global realignments. As global supply chains shift away from China, the Philippines stands to benefit from its strategic location. Companies seeking alternatives to China are looking to Southeast Asia for reliable partners, and the Philippines, with its young workforce and favorable trade policies, is well positioned to attract this wave of investment. Japan and the United States have already increased their economic engagement with the country, funding joint ventures and infrastructure projects. These partnerships offer more than just capital. They bring expertise, technology, and a seat at the table in regional trade discussions. Could these alliances help the Philippines leapfrog its current challenges and achieve advanced economy status? The answer lies in how effectively it leverages these opportunities, upskilling the workforce for a new era. The Philippines has one of the youngest populations in the world, but its strength lies in its adaptability. Programs focused on upskilling workers for high-value industries like AI, robotics, and advanced manufacturing are critical to future-proofing the workforce. The government has also started initiatives to integrate more STEM education and vocational training into the national curriculum. This is a pivotal moment. If the Philippines can transition its workforce from traditional outsourcing roles to specialized industries, it could secure a foothold in the global economy of tomorrow. What remains to be seen is whether these efforts can scale quickly enough to match the pace of technological change. What the Philippines teaches us. The story of the Philippines isn't just about a country navigating its own challenges. It's a mirror reflecting global economic shifts and opportunities. Take a step back and think about what it means for a nation with over 7,000 islands, stark inequality, and a history of colonial influence to emerge as a key player in today's interconnected world. It's a testament to the power of adaptability. By leveraging its strengths, a young, talented workforce, a strategic location, and thriving service industries, the Philippines has turned its challenges into opportunities, offering a masterclass in resilience. But resilience alone isn't enough. The Philippines also teaches us that no economy is immune to disruption. AI, automation, and shifting global trade patterns present existential challenges, but they also bring transformative possibilities. The question isn't just whether the Philippines can adapt, but what other nations can learn from its approach. From upskilling its workforce to focusing on niche industries like shipbuilding and microchip production, the Philippines shows how economies can carve their place even in fiercely competitive markets. As we reflect on this journey, it's worth asking yourself, what can your country, business, or even your own life learn from the Philippines' relentless pursuit of growth amid uncertainty? These lessons go beyond economics. They're about embracing change, finding opportunities in adversity, and believing in the power of human potential. The Philippines story is far from over, and its next chapter might hold even greater lessons for the world. Stay tuned to Economy Explorer as we continue uncovering the stories shaping our global future. If you found value in this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Check out one of our suggested videos to dive deeper into fascinating economic insights. Thank you for being part of Economy Explorer. See you next time.